Hello, thank you for coming back to my channel. You are very welcome as always. Today, as you can see, I'm not in my own kitchen. I've come to stay with my son again for a couple of days. If you've probably visited here if you're a subscriber, because I did 2 videos from here. I think it was carbonara and pasta bake. So I'll leave the links to those 2. That was back in September. And today I've come up and I'm making cheese and potato pie. So I'm making enough for us tonight in that's a Pyrex dish. And then I'm going to put the remainder in these little foil dishes and it's going to go into the freezer for him. So first we need to fill a big saucepan with water and put it on to boil. And then we're going to peel some potatoes. So this dish is basically just potatoes and cheese, but I add mustard to it to give it a little bit more kick. So yeah, if you're making it for 2 people, just use the amount of potatoes for 2 people, or if you're making it to freeze some like I am, just use as much. I'm going to use as many potatoes that are fit in that big saucepan. Do you have a potato peeler?
Yeah.
Do you?
It's in the drawer with the rest of the It's the white thing.
Yay! Because I'm struggling with this knife. Oh, I needn't struggle now. You can use a potato peeler. The potatoes will need to be cut into quite small pieces because then they'll boil quicker. Once your potatoes are cut, just pop them in the boiling water and they'll boil for approximately 20 minutes. You'll need to check, just put a knife in there, and if they're soft all the way through, they're done. Then while they're cooking, we'll grate the cheese. While the potatoes are cooking, we're going to grate the cheese. Now, if I was making it just for 2 in this bowl, I'd probably use about roughly 4 ounces of cheese. It's one of those recipes that I never weigh anything, I just do it. So roughly about 4 ounces, but because I'm making all the ones for the freezer today, I'm going to do probably roughly 6 to 8 ounces of cheese, and this is a cheddar cheese. An extra strong we've got. We do like cheddar cheese. See how much we've got. Oh, that's lovely. Perfect. So about 5 minutes before the potatoes are cooked, we need to put the oven on. I've put mine on 190 degrees Celsius, which is about 380 degrees Fahrenheit. And we need to butter the dishes. So I'm going to butter both this one and I'm going to butter 4 of these to start with. So my potatoes are done. I'll just show you, just in case you're not sure. The knife goes in and it's soft all the way through, all of the potatoes. So they're perfectly done. And all we do is chop them up. We're going to mash them, but I like to chop them up before I mash them to get them started. And I'm going to put in some butter. Quite a lot of butter. Remember, I'm making a lot of portions in here. And some salt. And we're just going to mash them. Make sure you get in all the I was going to say corners. It's a round saucepan, it doesn't have corners, but right down to the bits around the edges, so you don't get any lumps in the mashed potato. There, that's about perfect. Now we're just going to put the cheese in. And I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of English mustard powder. If you're making this for 2 people, so just the Pyrex dish, then it will be 1 teaspoon. And just sprinkle that over the cheese. This really brings out the cheese flavour. There. And just stir it all up, and the hot potato will melt all the cheese. There, that's perfect. Now we need to put it in the dishes. So I'm going to fill this dish near enough up to the top. And I just go around with a fork. So it's going to, when it crisps up in the oven, it will look delicious there. So this is about enough for 2 people. For a main dish, what we're going to do is just half this, and we have it with baked beans. But it would be enough for 4 people if you're having it just as a mashed potato, just as a cheesy mashed potato with other ingredients. So let's fill these little ones. Now this is going to be a singular portion, so I'm just going to have to guess how much my son's going to want. Probably a bit more than that. There. Those are just about even. And now with these 3, we'll just go along and make the ridges with a fork, so when they're cooked they look nice too. These ones now will be left to cool, and then a lid will be put on, and the foil goes over the lid like this. But I'll leave the lids off until they're cool, and they will be going in the freezer as they are. When they come out, they'll be defrosted with the lid on. They'll go in the oven to cook without the lid on, and they'll crisp up on the top. They'll go in the oven for about the same amount of time as I'm putting this one in. So the pie will now go in the oven for about half an hour, or until it's all crispy on the top. So it's now had 30 minutes, let's get it out. Look at that, it's delicious. We have this cheese and potato pie as a main meal served with baked beans, but you can serve it as a side whenever you would serve ordinary mashed potato, perhaps with a pie. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.